Is Cooper Flagg a lock at number 1? I think the Hornets take a surprise pick at number 4. And how high do I have Jaeger Dimon going in a mock draft? Let's do a little mock draft on today's One More Thing of Locked On Mavs.
I'm here because I have to be.
Dallas is going to get a seat at the table.
That's it. It's me versus the machine.
Nice penetrating thrust to the middle.
People forget about him.
Hot man, the hot player.
Wait. One more thing. Yeah, it's a one more thing. It's a weekend one more thing. Got a Knicks Pacers game 6 tonight in Indiana. But we're talking about the 2025 NBA draft that's coming up here in a few weeks. You're locked on the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Isaac. I'm one of your co-hosts covering the Mavs for the last 10 years alongside my good friend Nick. Thanks for making Locked On Mavs your first listen. Guys, go listen to Locked On NBA. Locked On NBA. Listen to that too, but listen to Locked On NBA Big Board for all this draft stuff. Raphael and his brother and the guys over there doing some great work. And of course, sign up for our subtext program through our QR code on the bottom screen if you're watching on YouTube. If not, it's in the podcast description. I want to do a mock draft. Man, we haven't done a mock draft. It's crazy. Obviously, Dallas getting the number 1 pick in this draft is just the best thing ever. For content stuff, like we had all this stuff for draft stuff planned, and I love the NBA draft. I love it so much. If there was a different world in which I did NBA coverage, it would be in the draft world. I just love prospects, scouting, all the different stuff. And we've enjoyed doing it over the years here with Locked On. I mean, going back to the 2017 draft, doing draft profiles and all the stuff, Dennis Smith Jr.'s draft before Luka. Now we're doing it after Luka. And obviously the Mavericks get, this chance to get Cooper Flagg at 1. So I'm going to do a mock draft today of just the lottery teams, 1 through 14. And it's just honestly, it's a place. This is a one more thing, a 15 and 20 minute episode, not a normal regular episode for me to just unload some of my draft stuff because I've been put in so much work to the NBA draft things. And then we got the number 1 pick and I was like, well, I guess we just throw that stuff out now, which is great because, you could be listening to Carter Bryant, profile pods right now instead of Cooper Flagg content. So it's a good thing, but we'll do a little mock draft today. And of course, it starts off with the number 1 pick and with the Dallas Mavericks. And it's like, this shouldn't be any question, right? It's Cooper Flagg. And there should be no debate. I don't think there's a trade on the table that you entertain for where Dallas is at, considering everything that has happened. You just take Cooper Flagg and be done with it. Just be done. And that's where Nick and I are both at. Cooper Flagg allows you this chance to get you another cornerstone, another shot at this, another cornerstone young piece to build around for hopefully the next decade. But he's also so good now that he helps your core now in this timeline that you've heard a million times. He helps in Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, PJ. He helps this core win now. And I think he's going to be able to step in. We said it the other day. He's the best talent they could have added this summer, realistically, in the offseason, whether it's trades or free agents and all the stuff. So you're adding a great talent to this roster. So you take Cooper Flagg. I don't think that's a debate. It shouldn't be a debate. I don't think it's been a debate in any mocks. Some people have tried to do will they trade down or will there be a trade? And it's like, no, just be done with it. All right. Number 2, Spurs are at number 2. Dylan Harper. I would go as far as saying, like, if I was the Spurs, I think he goes here, whether it's the Spurs or Bucks or whoever it is. If I was the Spurs, I would take him and be done with it. And I would figure out the rest of my roster from there. I think he's that good. And the chance to have Wemby is so young, and the chance to have Dylan Harper paired up with Wemby for such a long time now, and Castle. I know this sounds like crazy, but like I think I would, if I had to entertain anything, I would entertain the Fox route, which I know that he's traded for him and all the stuff. But I don't know. I just wouldn't want to pull Kings 2.0 and say, you know what, I'm going to give up on Halliburton because we're going to bet on Fox. And I don't want the Spurs to Well, I mean, I do, but like if I was the Spurs, I wouldn't want to say, man, we gave up on Dylan Harper because we have Fox. And because look how that's working out for the Kings and stuff right now. And that's not a shot at Fox. I think he's a good player. Number 3, Philly. I have Philly taking VJ Edgecombe from Baylor. I know Ace Bailey is the popular pick there, and I get it. I actually have Ace Bailey falling a little bit. I think there's a chance that Bailey could fall if he doesn't go at 3. He is such a polarizing prospect when you talk to people, talking about Ace Bailey. But somebody who I don't think is as polarizing is VJ Edgecombe, because I think everybody knows what you're getting with him. It's just like, hey, are you trying to get a number 1 scoring option? I don't think he's that. But man, everything he brings defensively, athleticism on the wing, I think he's going to be great in interviews. I think you're going to see different reports come out over the next coming weeks. Like, man, this team loved VJ Edgecombe and they're, when they brought him in for a workout and stuff. And I just like his fit in Philly too, with that young core, with Maxey. I mean, even if you want to consider Embiid or whatever, but with Maxey, McCain, adding Edgecombe on the wing, just a super athletic, kind of like a younger Andre Iguodala, and like they had back in the day, and for Philly, I just like that fit, and I feel like Philly should go with VJ Edgecombe if it was up to me. Here's my surprise pick. I know a lot of people have Edgecombe going to Charlotte. I think in this scenario, if Philly passed on Ace Bailey, I think a lot of people would say, oh, okay, they would add Ace Bailey to Brandon Miller and Lonzo Ball. I have Charlotte taken Common Malawach from Duke. And here's my thing. One, I think a lot of teams right now are looking for that defensive center. I think a lot of teams are looking for that young center. He is 7'2". The dude's wingspan is absolutely insane. Block shots, catch the lobs. I mean, he's what you want in that center spot. And there's no way they run this back with Mark Williams, right? After all the awkwardness and everything. And if they're committed to Lonzo Ball and Brandon Miller on the wing, and it's like, all right, we have these. Now, I get it. An Edgecombe or Ace Bailey could fit with Brandon Miller on the wing. I get all of that. But I'm just taking a swing here and saying, they look at it and saying, hey, we're going to trade Mark Williams this offseason. We don't really have another center. Like, Nurkic is not the answer. And we got to find some young big man to go with Lonzo if they're committed to that. And I think Malawach would catch a million lobs with Lonzo and defend the paint and all the stuff. So I think Malawach, this is higher than a lot of people have him, but I think his measurements and everything is just absolutely insane. And I think they take him at 4. Utah Jazz at 5. Man, bummer for them that they didn't land in that top 3 or top 4. I have Trey Johnson here. I think there's so much buzz about Trey Johnson. I like Trey Johnson a lot. I was hoping that if Dallas landed at 10 or 11 in the draft, I was like, is there a way that Trey Johnson could fall? No, there's no way he's going to fall. His shooting is incredible. I think his playmaking is underrated at Texas, and I like him a lot. So I think he goes at 5 or 6 to Utah. I mean, I could see him going, honestly, I could see him going 3 to Philly too. And it wouldn't like shock me. But here I have him at 5 going to Utah, because I mean, Utah is just like, I guess you just take best player available. I mean, it should be probably all these teams through here, but I don't know. You could talk me into a lot of people from Utah going here, but I wanted to put this next guy at Utah, and this is another surprise that I think that veers off from a lot of mock drafts. At number 6 for Washington, I have him taking Yegor Demon. BYU point guard, 6'6". I mean, no, actually taller than 6'6", 6'8", 6'9". I think he's the best passer in the draft. I think he's like another version of Lonzo Ball. I'm a big fan of his game. We've talked about it before. He's a Bill Duffy client and stuff. And I just think I think you've already seen some stuff of the buzz around him with workouts, combine stuff, measurements, and just teams really looking at how he fits and runs this, can run a system. And I think teams are really going to like him a lot. I would be shocked. I don't think he lasts outside the top 10. I know a lot of people have him in that 11 to 14 range. I think there's going to be a team that looks up through there and says, hey, we want to add a 6'9" point guard that can run the whole system. Like he's got some work to do with the shooting and scoring stuff. I get it. And I really wanted to put him at Utah, BYU, connections with Danny Ainge and all this stuff. But it feels like Trey Johnson's just too good to pass up. I couldn't be that bold there. I almost did it, but I have him going to Washington here. Washington has, these other pieces in Koulibaly and Alex Sarr and stuff. They're still looking for, their A+ star, but I bringing Demon in to Utah or Washington or New Orleans, that I think he goes in this 5 to 7 range, and they turn the keys over to him and say, hey, run our whole system here at your size and everything, and be our like healthier, younger Lonzo Ball. And that, remember, Lonzo went 2. I remember going into that draft, and after that draft, Rick Carlisle and the Mavs, they had Lonzo number 1 on their draft board that year. That was the Markelle Fultz year and Jason Tatum year and all that stuff. They were such big fans of Lonzo and what he could do with the offense and stuff. So I think Demon goes to Utah, Washington, or New Orleans. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back, and I'll do the rest of the lottery and some surprises I have too, and some other prospects I like. This podcast is brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are in full swing. Like I said, we have a game 6 tonight in Indiana that is going to be hopping. Indiana wins. They go to the NBA Finals. Every night delivers with highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, can't miss moments. It's a game-winning shot or a breakout player. Guys, FanDuel, get in on the action here. They make it easy to stay in the game. You could do it before tip-off or even live during the game. You're like, man, I forgot to have some fun here and put some things down at FanDuel. You could do it during the games, player props, player performance trends, same game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. So, pull that up. Maybe I think there's some stuff on NBA draft stuff too. How confident are you in Cooper Flagg going number 1? New to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Oh, look at this. Look at this. Nick added this in here. Little break music here. And guys, I got to set it up over the weekend. Big time news over here. I got a soundboard. Nick is not ready. No, actually, it's Nick's old soundboard. So I am so excited to just have random drops that surprise him. And also, it makes a lot of these other transitions and stuff easier for me. So for everybody who makes fun of me for how clunky it is, here you go. Here you go. All right. Let's continue on the mock draft. If you're not really into the NBA draft, then you're probably like, why do I care what New Orleans does at 7? Well, you care that Cooper Flagg is going to go number 1. And this just, I want to talk about mock draft stuff. So here you go. All right. Number 7, New Orleans. The picks before them, I had Utah taking Trey Johnson. I had Demon going to Washington. Ace Bailey still on the board for me at number 7. You're like, Isaac, you're crazy. Probably am. But I do think there's a small chance that Ace Bailey could drop a few slots. New Orleans, I haven't taken Jeremiah Fears. I think Fears, once again, I think you could see him going at number 5 to Utah. You could see him going to Washington at 6. I think you could see him going anywhere in these 3 spots too. I think if he lasts to Brooklyn at 8, I think they take him at 8. I like Fears a lot, kind of like Trey Johnson. When we first started doing the Mavericks stuff and looking at draft stuff, I'm like, dude, Jeremiah Fears at 10, 11, 12, somewhere through there. If Mavericks land there, then I like the Fears pick, the backcourt fit in Dallas. He's not going to last to that pick, I don't think. Definitely with all the buzz and stuff after the past month or so. And so, I have him going to New Orleans. DeJounte Murray, when is his recovery? When does he come back from the Achilles and stuff? They're looking for a star guard at some point. And Jeremiah Fears is a swing, because I think if he hits everything, I think he's going to be a really, really good player in the league and a lot of fun too. At number 8, Brooklyn. This is where I have Ace Bailey going, falling to number 8. This would be a surprise a lot for some. But this is where I have it. I think, I've mentioned this before. If you go type in Ace Bailey YouTube highlights and you watch the best clips, you're insane if he doesn't go in the top 3, because he has some of the craziest shot making stuff. But there's some of the stuff with his game I don't know what to do with. I don't know what to do with some of the defense. I could be completely wrong on Ace Bailey. I'm not confident on how I feel or stand on him going into the NBA. I know some of the combine stuff was a little like, okay, this is his measurements and things coming in at like 6'7", 6'8", whenever this whole season, everybody's like 6'10". Look what he's doing at 6'10". And then he's like, wait, is he 6'7" or 6'8"? What was Rutgers doing over there with these measurements? And so anyway, I think if he lasts to 8, Brooklyn is in the ultimate, like, hey, we're just searching for any type of good young players. They have to take him. Like, you just take him and be done with it if you're Brooklyn. And that would be a great pick and great value if he lasted to 8 and Brooklyn took him. Number 9, I have the Toronto Raptors taking Noah Essengay. And I wanted to put him a spot or 2 higher on this board because I think some team's going to fall in love with is he the next Giannis? And just like in the sense of, you see all these like young clips of Giannis when he was coming out of the draft, and you see this like super lanky young guy in the wing that, there's weird decisions he makes. Like, man, that's just so clunky. You're not like fully there yet. But then he also pulls off some athleticism stuff with his length and frame and stuff on the wing. You're like, whoa, like that is like untapped potential there. And I think some teams are going to talk themselves into that. Toronto's like the perfect, type of like, hey, we love big wings. And so I put him here. There's a couple other spots I could see him going, but if he lasted outside of the lottery, I would be shocked. And he's also one I'm penciling in as a holy crap if he went like crazy high, like if he went 4 or 5 or 6, and everybody's like, whoa, didn't see this coming. I could see a team like that taking the ultimate swing and being like, all right, we're going to swing on this guy just for his frame and everything. So at number 10, the Houston Rockets. Once again, there's going to be trades and stuff. So this is just how it is now. I haven't taken Con Knippel from Duke. I think he's like one of the safest prospects out there. He's going to shoot the lights out. I watched a decent amount of Duke this past season. That's why I have some things on Cooper Flagg where I'm like, dude, this is before Mavericks won everything. I'm like, this is one of the craziest prospects I've ever seen in college basketball. But yeah, I mean, Knippel's, I think he would fit like great in Houston, a shooter. I think they probably trade this pick, so this is kind of hard. This was the pick that was like, hey, I don't think Knippel last past the lottery, and I'm just sitting there like, oh, Houston's probably going to trade this pick, so I'll just put Knippel here. But I actually think he could fit in Houston too as a shooter, as a connector piece around some of those pieces for the Rockets. In Portland at number 11, I haven't taken Carter Bryant. This guy has like risen the ranks over the past month. When you start looking at wing prospects, 6'8", Arizona, there's so much buzz around him where he can honestly go a few spots higher. But Portland's tough too, because you start going around the roster and it's not that you're like trying to draft for need every time, but it's like, all right, Scoot, Shaden Sharp. All right, well, you have Klingon that you just spent a big draft pick on as your 5 spot, and then you have Kamara and you have these other young wings. Like, what the heck do they even need? Like, what are they going for? But I think when in doubt, just take a wing, and I think Carter Bryant would be a good pick for them there in Portland. At 12, Chicago, I haven't taken Colin Murray Boyles. I'm not the biggest Murray Boyles fan. I don't know what to do with his offense, his shooting and everything. And I feel like you just have to be able to shoot. But people rave about his defense, so I'll trust that. Chicago, sure. I mean, Pat Williams is probably going to be traded at some point from there. And you're always looking for a lockdown wing defender. I don't want to hear anything about Draymond Green comps for Murray Boyles. Just miss me with that. Next, Atlanta. I have him taking Kasparas Yakuchonis from Illinois. I think he's a faller. I think he could fall out of the lottery. And I know a lot of people have him in like top 8, top 10. There's just different parts of his game. I'm like, man, I just don't know what that. I like Demon better than Kasparas. So there you go. I mean, I feel very confident in that. Once again, could be wrong, but Atlanta, if they move on from Trae Young, or even if they keep him, he's big enough that could play with Trae. I would worry about that defensive backcourt. But he's hey, let me orchestrate the system and stuff too. In 14, San Antonio at 14. This is probably a little too high for a lot of people, but I really, man, I would take a swing on him. Cedric Coward. I would take Cedric Coward out of Washington State. He is he's staying in the draft. He was going to go to Duke, and then he went to combine, and it was like, hold on, I think enough teams like me. So he's staying in the draft. He's probably going to go later in the first round, but it wouldn't shock me, and I would actually take him here in San Antonio. If San Antonio walked out with Dylan Harper and Cedric Coward, just a swing on the wing there. His wingspan is over 7 foot. He's like 6'6", 6'7". He'd be a great like Spurs swing there. But there you go. There's my lottery mock draft. I might do another one before the draft, but I just want to get some draft thoughts and takes out. Yeah. Cooper Flagg, number 1, Dallas. Don't think twice about it. He should be number 1. And it's looking every bit of that way that we're going to be flying the Cooper flag high in Dallas for a long time. Guys, we'll be back for another episode tomorrow or Sunday night. And Nick and myself will be back, and we'll be talking more draft stuff. I'm sure there'll be more rumor stuff. We'll get slightly back on. And yeah, we're with you every single day leading up to the NBA draft and beyond. And beyond. Peace out. Boom.